And one. Hey, welcome into the Big Chief Show. I'm your host, Fred Davis, joined alongside the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Mr. Henry Thomas. All this guy did was spend 14 years in the National Football League. 93
and a half
career sacks, most everybody knows tackle in the history of the National Football League. Over 1,000 career tackles. Back to back 100-yard
tackle.
Not saying you couldn't have rushed for 100 yards. I know you could have.
Yeah.
We know you could have. We know you could have. He's a dual threat kind of guy. 100 tackle seasons back to back from the nose tackle position, which I'm going to go out on a limb, Henry Thomas, and look, because we can do this. I'm going to say you're the only nose tackle to do that in the history of the NFL. Stop me.
Never researched it. Hey, having a nice beverage. Not a sponsor, but
hey,
love me.
Tell you what, if they want to be one, we're still waiting to hear back from Monkey Shoulder, are we not?
Yeah.
Still waiting to hear back from Monkey Shoulder. Okay. So we're waiting on Monkey Shoulder. We're waiting on Michelob Ultra. All right. So
Amber.
Real quick, Henry Thomas.
Same complexion.
Well, there you go. I mean, I can appreciate that. Let me ask you this real quick, because Michelob Ultra catches a lot of shit because some people say it just tastes like water, right? And it's 90 calories, and it's they when you see the Michelob Ultra commercials, it's always people working out. And rather than getting a protein drink after they're grabbing for Michelob Ultra, do you feel ready to work out after you drink a Michelob Ultra?
I don't care what everybody else thinks. If you don't like the way it tastes, drink another damn beer. Don't bring it to me because I like what I'm drinking. And for all of you people that, I got to get a protein shake, you just triggered me when you said that. After my workout, have you ever seen a gorilla?
I have seen a gorilla.
Swole up.
Like not in person, but yes, they are. Like a silverback? Yeah.
What protein they eat? They getting it out of the league?
Well, I mean, they're also genetically designed like that.
Okay, now it's genetics. Just saying that, right? They're tricking y'all with this protein stuff. You know why I eat beef? Because it tastes good. Period.
I'm with you 110% on that. So anyway, they came out with the amber. That's new.
Yes.
Do you like it? Are you feeling it?
I'm an amber drinker.
You're an amber drinker.
I like that. Corona amber.
How do you feel about women named Amber?
Amber. Yeah. Okay.
There you go. All right. Look, big news today. We're gonna get to Championship Sunday here in a second.
Huge news.
Couple things. One, you and I on our picks this past week. All right, our boy Bitter Mike. Let's see. I want to say, and I don't have the sheets in front of me. You and I were both wrong about the Texans,
of course.
Okay. Although I did say, well, no, we were both wrong. Right. You thought they were going to win outright. I thought that the Baltimore Ravens would win, but I at least thought that the Texans would cover.
Right.
Which, hey, I was right for a half. Okay. Real quick for the folks at home, and I teased this on the rant today when I did my roof rant this afternoon. Look, Texans fans, I get it. And I've run into a handful of Texans fans those first couple of days, and everybody was like, well, we didn't make enough adjustments. Why didn't we? And I said to a couple of guys, I was like, what adjustments would you have made? Because there was nothing you guys were going to do that was going to beat Baltimore. Like, sports, sometimes the other team is just that much better than you.
I mean, there's some adjustments of making it an effective spy. But the team was great. I mean, it was a decent game for 3 quarters, and it kind of went the way everyone thought it would. I'm a homer, so I'm going to be pulling for the Texans.
Yeah, but the football Henry Thomas in you knew that Baltimore was going to.
Oh yeah,
it would have been a huge upset.
Oh, massive!
Massive. I don't think people understand just how big of an upset that would have been if the Texans would have gone into Baltimore and beaten a very good Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, just like it would have been like 87 Vikings going in the Candlestick and beating the brakes off of the 49ers.
And upsetting the 49ers. And look, the reality is this, and let's be real for a minute. That D-line for Houston Texans ain't touching that 87.
No.
You had, 2 Hall of Famers?
No, at that
time.
Should
be 3?
At that time, it was just Chris. So Johnny hadn't gotten there yet. So it was Chris.
What about Millard?
Keith Millard. He's not Hall of Famer yet, though.
Millard's not a Hall of Famer either?
No, he's not.
Wow.
No, he's not.
The disrespect to that 87 Viking
Well,
D-line.
he hadn't even gone in the Ring of Honor either.
Neither one of you guys are in the Vikings Ring of Honor?
No, neither of us. But I go. Thanks for that therapy, but
man, bro. I mean, I knew you weren't in the Ring of Honor, but damn, I didn't know Keith Millard wasn't either.
That's
I mean, I've known you longer. So.
okay. That's better. I feel better now.
I mean, I have campaigned openly for why Henry Thomas is not in the Minnesota Viking Ring of Honor, and so, anywho, not a big surprise there. Big surprise though was the fact that Green Bay, who again, I'll just put this out there, I did pick to cover the spread, they did, and really pissed away what should have been
a victory. Like I said,
that should have been a win, though.
Yes,
like you and I both agree. Houston, for a half, great. Second half, okay. Will the real Baltimore Ravens please stand up? 49ers damn near bleeped around and found out.
Yeah.
That this Green Bay team is legit.
It's legit, and they're all. I mean, the youngest team.
They are the youngest team in the National Football League.
Absolutely, and they're learning, the right way. So,
were you surprised they fired the D coordinator though? Joe Barry got the boot yesterday.
Did
he? Sure did. And I look. That was one of those deals where, I mean, look, I get it. The Green Bay Packers were up and down all season. I think at one point they were 2-5, 2-6, something along those lines. And look, I get it. You gave up the game-winning drive there to a Brock Purdy who, through 3 quarters, though, Henry Thomas, Brock Purdy looked like he was the last pick in the NFL draft.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think that was the main reason.
No. I'm with you.
Sure,
there was other things, yeah.
Along the season that,
I mean, it ain't Adrian Griffin getting fired 45 games into the season, being the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference getting fired.
Like no.
Wow.
But
good thing it's not an NBA show.
Exactly.
Not that we care, but
I think them firing him is again that team learning and growing. They're on the way up. I mean,
he was there for 3 seasons.
Yeah. And what did he do for him? So we're okay. Okay. We want to be better than okay.
Although they weren't bad down the stretch.
I know
that's the crazy thing. Like, here's the thing: when you
3 years, and then you're gonna, and I'm upset about the 3 years, but you got 5 games that you want to throw at me to say this is gonna save my job.
Yeah. Especially when they were one of the hottest teams down the stretch, and let's call it what it is. Like you said, had San Francisco on the ropes in San Francisco.
Absolutely.
And look, any Green Bay Packer fan will tell you we should have won that game.
Oh, all Packer fans will tell you that.
But
it didn't happen. And because San Francisco's had the trouble they did with Green Bay. Oh, wait for them. You think that North thing?
All right, we're gonna get to that here in a second. We're gonna get to that in a second. I got plenty to get to because I'm really curious to get your thoughts on the defensive side because the defense is where people are a little apprehensive about the Detroit Lions on. So we'll get to them in just a second because we're gonna recap everything here. But recap. Okay, so we're gonna get not recap, but we'll get to the Sunday games here in just a second. But so that was Saturday's games.
Right.
Then you mentioned again Sunday's games. You had your Detroit Lions who took care of business against Tampa Bay. And it was one of those games where, and we kind of talked about this, that it was going to be one of those games where maybe, Tampa Bay hung around, which they did, but you never felt, like, at least I never felt, Henry, that Tampa Bay was going to win that game. I felt like, look, Detroit was going to have to do something really boneheaded and stupid to lose that football game, and they did. I mean, they were up 14. They kind of went into cruise control there for a quarter or two, and then the whole going for 2 when you're down 14 and you score the touchdown, little bizarre to me. But hey, they try it anyway.
It's those computers.
It's the analytics, dude. Yeah. The analytics has gone too far, but whatever. It is what it is. And then of course the big knock was that you had Detroit kind of screwed the pooch a little bit there towards the end when. They were there was 36 seconds left. Instead of letting the clock run down further, Jared Goff went ahead and kneed the ball again. Right? So there was 36 seconds left that Tampa Bay, who had 2 timeouts left, could have called a timeout and said, okay, now Detroit, facing a 4th down, have to decide, are we going to kick a field goal or are we going to punt?
Right.
Todd Bowles said, fuck it, this game's over.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all next year.
We're gone. Come on.
Y'all ain't firing me anyway.
Yeah. So I got you.
If you're a player on that team, are you okay with that? Now, technically, you'd have been on the field.
I've been on the field.
So you might have been a little hot, turning around saying, okay, wait a minute, there's 36 seconds left. Why aren't we calling timeout?
Nah, I probably got a game because I would have called the timeout. I'd have just went, and
That's a great point.
It's happened to me before where I was like, timeout, and they're like, what are you doing calling timeout? And I'm going, we need to regroup. We need to figure this out. We're running around, and here I am, a second-year guy, and we're in a crucial time, and it's a 2 minutes where we can't even make a substitution. So I called timeout. We had 3. It was
first half or second half?
Second half.
It's ballsy move by you.
We got 3 timeout. It's second down and 4. We're trying to do
Who y'all playing?
I want to say Tampa. We're trying to do a personnel switch, and that's when they had that.
And you guys were in the same division as Tampa.
Yeah,
okay.
back then. And we were doing a personnel switch, and I saw the quarterback see it and run to the line
so he's about to snap the ball.
And we're going to get a penalty, and I just time out.
You ain't losing 5 yards on Henry Thomas's watch.
And it was like maybe a minute and a half in the game.
Who was the quarterback? Was it Testaverde?
Might have been. Was Weiss their coach at the time?
Was he there after Cincinnati? He went to Tampa after Cincinnati.
Yeah,
He's
so
dead now.
I don't know.
I think he is.
I don't know.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
So we didn't.
Hey, we'll get to this in a second because I'm about to go. All right, so you wouldn't have cared. All right, you would have called timeout.
I called timeout.
You'd have called timeout. And
why are there no captains out there? Nobody that understands that? I think they already tell them don't call timeout.
Or do you think they were paying attention?
Who's not paying attention when you're in the game?
Henry, I'm just saying, were these guys thinking this game's over? Because, maybe they're thinking as soon as you see kneel down, game's over.
I've been in games where the referee has cussed me out for swiping at the ball because they're about to kneel down, and I'm like, watch this quickness.
Wasn't that Greg Schiano when he was the Tampa Bucks coach for a hot minute? They fucked with him because when they tried to kneel down, they tried to
go through and try to get the ball out. Yes, you're down by 2. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a minute and a half or whatever.
All right, so we know what Henry Thomas would have done. And then, of course, the last game of the night was the best game of the weekend, the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. And, of course, the huge takeaway, Henry Thomas, after that game was over was, and it was more so on the Monday side of things, where you had, we've got a group of saying that, Josh Allen did all he could, and, it was a team loss. And then you've got other folks saying, why do we keep giving Josh Allen all this excuse, and why are we not being harder on him? Because if Mahomes would have lost that game, we'd have been busting Mahomes. If so-and-so
Lamar would have lost that game.
No, if Lamar loses on, now the only thing that's going to save Lamar losing on Sunday is that to Mahomes. If he loses to anybody else but Pat Mahomes, he's catching a ration of shit. That's the only reason.
And you hear what you're saying, right?
What's that?
You're just saying because it's another black quarterback. That's what I heard.
No, I'm hearing it. I'm saying it.
I'm hearing it because you're saying it.
I'm saying
you saying it because I'm hearing it.
Mahomes is the best quarterback.
That's what you're saying is because I'm hearing because it's 2 black quarterbacks. It don't matter. It's what I heard you say. I just want a clarification. So because Mahomes is the best quarterback.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So Lamar couldn't lose to
if Lamar lost to anybody else,
okay.
He's catching a rash of shit.
Okay.
Tell you what, black quarterbacks be damned. I promise you, he loses to C.J. Stroud. Him being black's got nothing to do with it. It's like whoa.
Well, I was also answering the question that you were asking.
What's that
about him? Taking the flack for it.
Oh, for being a black quarterback, and why he catches it more than other guys do.
Why Josh Allen didn't catch it? Because he's a golden boy.
No, he has to. Yeah, he has to.
It's kind of like heavyweight boxing in the 70s.
Or before that, yeah.
Looking for that one great white hope.
Look, I mean, and that's
we're losing our spot here, man.
Look, it's not. And look, I don't dispute that one bit. I mean, we've caught and look, Lamar. Here's the problem with Lamar is that Lamar is one. I saw something the other day. He is 0-3 in the playoffs when the Ravens give up more than 13 points. Okay. Do we really think that the Chiefs are not going to score more than 13 points on Sunday afternoon?
Where do you guys pick all this up?
I just listen to shit.
1-13 after they get.
By the way, he's 1-3, and by the way, he's 1-3 against your boy.
See, now that would be a better stat that I could
what
live with it against Mahomes. He's 1-3 against Mahomes.
And he's 0-3 in the playoffs when they give up more than 13 points. That's kind of a big deal. Because look,
because it's a team fucking sport.
I'm with you on that.
Your defense is supposed to
hold them. Look, you and I, matter of fact, I remember being at your house. We watched. Was that the Raven? You and I watched a Raven game. Was that when they lost to the Titans in the playoffs?
Don't know. That's a lot of games.
So, look, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't worried about the Buffalo game. I really wasn't. Because, A, they were beat up on. A.J. Klein was trying to chase Travis Kelce. Okay?
Right. I knew that. I wasn't worried about Buffalo.
Like, A.J. Klein, and look, I'm not dogging A.J. Klein, but A.J. Klein's been in the league for like a decade plus. Okay? And it's been kind of like a backup / special team / try hard,
do all the stuff you can to stay on the game.
Exactly.
I got it.
Okay?
I know that guy. Several.
You know what? He's like a poor man's what was the dude? Zach Thomas. He's like a poor man. And when I say poor man, like a broke man's Zach Thomas. Okay? Little squatty white middle linebacker. That's it. That's what he is. Okay? Went to Iowa State. All right. Like
so he was like a arena football Zach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like if that's exactly what I would call it.
All right.
No. You know what I'd say? He's like an XFL Zach Thomas.
Okay.
He's an XFL Zach Thomas is what he is, right? And this is the dude who, oh, by the way, was getting ready to go on vacation with his family. And they're like, hey, we need some help. Middle linebacker. And he's like, all right, fuck it.
Come. Y'all going without.
I'm about to go put the clamps on 87.
We got some money coming in.
That's right. Tell you what, hold off.
Y'all go ahead.
We're about to upgrade that package after this game's over with.
No, y'all go ahead. Stick to the budget. We'll take care of a couple things here at home.
That's right. And he didn't know, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. So that was the game. You had a Chiefs team that, look, you kept Pat Mahomes clean all game long.
Yeah.
Right? You had Isaiah Pacheco, who showed you the biggest difference in the game in week 13, 14, whatever it was, when they lose on that, Kadarius Toney penalty versus, my man had 96 yards on 15 carries for crying out loud against Buffalo. I mean, he was the difference maker. And you had Travis Kelce, who, for as shitty as he looked the last 6-7 weeks of the regular season, okay, this is now 2 weeks in a row where, okay, I'm not saying this is prime 87, but this is, okay, last couple seasons, my man's, putting in 8-9 catches off 15 targets for 87 yards and a couple tutties. We'll take that. We'll take that, right? So,
because who else is catching the ball? Exactly.
I'm going to tell you what it was. So I'm going to tell you what it was. And this is where I texted my cousin last week about this, and I don't know, I may even texted you. I said, if MVS is catching passes, I know we're going to win this game. And he caught 2 over the shoulder, which, at the end of the day, is not uber. I mean, I'm not an NFL wide receiver, but watching him try to catch him in the season versus, and look, it gets a little, it's a little anxiety, because my man's over here.
Pretending it's a toilet paper roll.
Man, look, okay? Because you know as well as I do, MVS ain't the beefiest dude in the world,
Right.
okay? And look, my man knows how to run 2 routes. Forward, okay, I guess 3, okay? And you can tell me what the exact nomenclature is for, okay? A go route, a go route with a cut to that way, and a go route with a cut to that way. I mean, that's what MVS does.
A go out, a go slant, and a go. That's what he got.
That's the extent of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, okay?
And you break it down, then you turn it around for no hook.
My man ain't doing it. Look, he definitely ain't going over the middle.
On the slant.
Yeah, 30 yards down
there, yeah.
But there's nobody from the backside that can lay his ass out.
Oh.
No. So, and the defense, which, and look, you got plenty of text messages for me on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
There was one time, Henry Thomas, I kid you not, and I want to get your thoughts on this, where our boy 95, he's in his stance, stands up. Now, he was double teamed for most of the game, so I'm going to give him, I'll say that, and you can speak to being double teamed a lot more than I can.
Man.
But at one time, he was standing and doing this. Just standing there. Not moving, not just standing there.
Well, I'm glad you saw it that one time. I saw it. I saw it a bunch. Saw it more than one time.
You saw it several times.
Yeah.
How does he get away with that?
I don't know that he is getting away with it because I know it comes up in film. It's got to.
It has to.
I don't care who you are.
It has
And if it's not coming up in film, you're not worth your salt as a coach.
Right.
Because if I can't point out to you,
what you're doing wrong?
yo, man, what do you call this? Is this, I don't know any of the drills that I put together that equates to this.
Where you just stand there and lean on.
And you're just pushing on him. I don't know any of the drills. So are you telling me because if you're tired, then say it.
Come on.
Come on out the game. I'll pull you off the game and get somebody else in there. But if you want to go, that's not going. This is 3-5 decimals above sitting on the bench with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm standing pretty much what you're standing. If I do this to another coach, we're probably equal for what the fuck you're doing. And so if you're a coach, you have to say, I don't care if you're the superstar. I don't care if you're this guy or that guy. Okay, yes. But if you want to be that superstar, this doesn't say that. This says I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
And I'm a sometime player. You can't be a superstar and a sometime player.
No, those two are mutually exclusive. Those two are mutually exclusive. Now, that being said, I will say this. He did have what might have been
A game.
the play of the game.
He was rested. I saw it too.
When he bumped the deep left tackle to Josh Allen and knocked that throw off.
All the way into him.
That's a touchdown if he doesn't get hit and throws and that's a clean pocket, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, I said the same thing, but he was fresh. I mean, because the most of the game, that's what I saw.
Dude, I'm telling you,
if he got double teamed and they were running the ball and the ball ran, if you're one double team guy, there's another double team guy right here, and the ball ran on you that side of you. He just didn't want to get knocked down. And he looked like, y'all got that? Oh.
Well, then he got drugged. But what did the Buffalo receiver, the running back? He went to jump on him, and then the dude's sitting there. Have you ever been? Okay, let me ask you this, because and here's the thing. He's 6'5", 300 pounds, right? So we know that's a big dude, okay? You in your prime, you were what, 6'3", 280, 290?
280.
Okay. Were you ever drugged by anybody in your NFL career?
That's football.
What's that?
That's football. Everybody got drugged. Just wasn't on they all Gary Moore.
With you holding on for dear life.
Because I mean,
what was the worst that you ever got?
Missed the tackle.
Hit
him.
Who was it?
We're playing, I want to say somebody in Miami.
Okay.
I was in New England. Take on the block, excellent. Come off the block, gonna lay the dude out, and he did a little. I'm thinking in my mind when I'm making that tackle because it's a thing. His shoulders are square. All he's got is a spin move. He's not, if he goes away from me, I can turn my shoulder and go. So I'm gonna lay him out in this angle. And he did that new jump cut thing where physics that I've learned up until that point, he can't go this way and then jump that way. But he did. I got the shoulder on him and it didn't get the wrap up and he jumps out this way and I'm holding on for dear life and he's starting to get away from me. And I reached down and grabbed some shoestrings and he stumbled for about 3 yards. And I got up like, lucky I missed on that one, son. But then I'm in the huddle going, did y'all see that cut? I was like, what the hell?
You remember the running back?
I do not remember.
It wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was it?
I don't know who the running back was. It might have been that guy at that time because it was.
He was with them for that during that time.
Yeah, I was on the.
We're gonna look that up. But did you ever get knocked out, run over?
I got run over before. I mean,
by who? Allstott? I remember you saying Allstott was a bitch. Not a bitch in the sense of like he was
a pussy bitch. A bitch in the sense that he was tough to get down. Because he looked like that.
Well, he had that dadgum. We don't even see.
He looked like anymore. One of those Marvel or what's that guy called? Ron
Wolverine?
No, he was like what do they call him? Oh my God, Juggernaut. Like the helmet and the pants were right here, and there was nothing to grab him. I mean, you could hit him, but you'd have to find something to grab onto.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he did run a lot of people over.
Yeah.
Nothing feel bad about.
I mean, he never ran me over.
Who did?
I might have missed the block.
Who's the one where you got up and you were like, damn? Even you had to be like, wow.
And it's funny. I remembered it. It's this why it sits with me this long. It was a running back for Detroit Lions, last name Jones, my rookie year, short yardage.
Yeah.
Depleted the shit out of me. I mean, I made the tackle like I was a cockroach on my back. It was a short yardage play. And all my newfound friends were like, damn, on the field. Damn, Hank. Oh, they were like, I think you got a little shoe print right here, man. It was like Dolman and Millard. It was like, look.
You were catching all kinds of shit.
And I was the rookie, so.
Did you guys win the game?
Oh, yeah, we won the game.
So you didn't, okay, so at least that, because if you got lost and you got run over?
No. It doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Oh, if you get run over, you're catching shit regardless.
Oh, I want to go to training room because I don't want to be in the film room. I don't. You know what? Look, I'm sitting there going, I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Nah, you sit down. You know what? No, you can't leave. I'm like, I think my stomach upset. You gonna sit here and shit. You gonna watch this. Hey, now what were you thinking when and it ain't even the coach. All the coaches doing is rewinding.
So he's letting everybody else.
Oh my God! Because here's the thing: if I'm not there making the tackle for 4-yard gain, he probably hit his head on because the linebacker went to the wrong hole. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, so it's a shit show.
Ain't nobody saying none of that. All they saying was
you get run over.
You got your ass run over. I think you stepped on your sternum. I mean, they are dogging me bad. It was like, damn, bro, your head hit first. It was like, and I mean, they were clowning me on the field. So that's how bad it was.
You knew you were going to catch in the film room.
And you don't know it until like you're on a plane ride back. You're on a plane ride back, and they're walking by going, hey man, don't put ice on the sternum part. Slow your heart down. What you talking about? Then
I got what you're doing hotter than motherfucker.
So it's just it's funny that But everybody has a story. If you play football, there's a story. There's nobody.
So you're saying there's no shame in him. That is a playoff game. It's not like James Cook or 26 or whoever it was.
The shame is the loafing.
Yeah, it's almost the plays that aren't that.
Yeah, if you get run over,
because at least he was chasing the guy that time.
If you're doing something and somebody is, faster, stronger, more athletic,
nothing you can do about that.
If you're playing football, there's times you're gonna, you're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna get blocked.
Yeah,
you're gonna get, it happens.
The nature of the game.
Because everybody's not gonna be a winner.
Yeah,
and every single person, if they're honest, will tell you the same thing. Oh, yeah, and they'll remember the name, the play, how it happened.
Of getting run over.
Oh, run over, knocked out.
Blowed up.
Blowed up. He got blued up.
So the Chiefs did enough. They take care of business. And, of course, homeboy misses the 44-yard field goal. And look, you can't tell me that the wind didn't have something to do with that, right? I mean, hell, the thing starts going this way, then it's like, meow, off the other side. But, I mean, who knows? I don't know. But
I know he missed it.
That's all I know.
And
that was ball game.
Buffalo felt like I'm sure they felt that way.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but I mean, look, you couldn't stop Pat Mahomes.
Right.
I mean, and honestly, the Chiefs did just enough there. Now, I will say this, and you and I talked about this earlier in the week. Spagnuolo, to his credit, made some changes. I know one of the things I heard him talk about was, they changed the lanes they were rushing into, and kind of started moving 95 all over the place, which, I mean, they do that anyway. But, you slowed down the run. And Joe Brady for Buffalo, you could argue they almost kind of went away from the run too a little bit in the second half, which is a little questionable for me, because it's like, look, you guys gashed the Chiefs in the first half. I mean, they pretty much did whatever the hell they wanted off
running the ball. Yes, they did.
So why would you go away from that? I don't understand, because it's not like the Chiefs were. I mean, look, the time that the Chiefs finally had a chance to put that game away,
right?
All right, which they would when it was 27-24. Sean McDermott, who gets bailed out of that play call, all right, of the fake punt from your own 30, all right. Chiefs get it to the 1, and then, as usual, you hand it to the one shit bag that you traded for, who's been a complete shit bag all day. I mean, let me just real quick. Let me just say this one thing, and I'm not gonna say anything more about it. All right. You traded back for the guy who left your team, which we get. You let him go because nobody wanted Mecole Hardman, who was a bum last year. He's pretty much been a bum his entire career in Kansas City. He goes to the Jets and is so bad with the Jets, they don't even activate him through the first 6 weeks of the season.
Right.
Okay? And this was a team that had almost, arguably, a worse wide receiver situation than the Chiefs do.
Okay.
Because at least the Chiefs have a Hall of Famer at tight end.
Okay.
And at least Rashee Rice was showing flashes. And at least we thought MVS can at least run a go route.
Yes.
In one or two directions.
Right.
Okay? So you got 3 dudes who at least have pulses that can catch the ball. Yet Mecole Hardman, who was dog shit in New York to the point where a 5-11 or 5-12 team said, we don't want you and can't use you. The Chiefs, who built a shit wide receiver room, say, you know what? We've got all this bullshit in our room. Is there one more turd we can throw in this punch bowl? Yes, there is. Let's go grab that fat turd over in New York and bring him back into our punch bowl, and that being Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
And he's been an absolute shitbag his entire season here with Kansas City. His stat line on Sunday?
What's that?
Okay. 2 catches, 2 fumbles, -1 yards.
Ooh. Ooh.
Get out of my face, okay? Get out of my face. I'm tired of Mecole Hardman. You know what? Healthy scratch him on Sunday. Healthy scratch.
Just he won't be in the game.
No. Healthy scratch.
All right.
Look, honestly, okay, what do you call guys in the league who ain't worth a fuck, but somehow, some way, they're always in the team pictures, they're always with the superstars. You always see him around and you say to yourself, how the fuck does this guy keep showing up? That's Mecole Hardman, because I'm telling you right now, ever since he's been back with Kansas City, anytime you see Travis or Mahomes, guess who's
Nico's right there
in the background? If you're Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes, okay,
he's in the background.
Here's me calling back. Every time.
I was here too. I was here too.
Every time. Period. What y'all doing back
there? Hey, that's Miko.
That's Miko.
And they like this.
Yeah, exactly. What do you call those guys? What's the name for those guys in the league?
Sound like you just gave them all, man. Miko. They got to be called Miko from now on.
Did they not really have that? But there weren't really. Well, for one, you didn't have social media,
right?
And there wasn't that. So I'm guessing you didn't have quite the.
No, I was
dudes being able to get away doing that kind of stuff.
More of the developmental part of going up to that part.
Okay.
To what it is now, you know.
It was the infancy of that, right? Where guys would be doing radio shows and stuff like that. But as far as like,
you know, I did radio shows, television shows, stuff like that, but
like galas and that type of stuff. Okay.
So not everybody.
But that's what I'm saying. But was there ever a time when you were at a gala and it's like, okay, we get why Henry Thomas is here.
Yeah.
We understand why Chris Dolman's here. We understand why, you know, insert whoever's here. Why is the fifth running back or the fifth wide receiver who just dropped 2 balls in the last 2 games, why the fuck is he here? That's Mecole Hardman right there. That's Mecole Hardman right here.
Mecole. Got it.
All right, so that was last week. Real quick, before we touch on today's games, let's just take a quick look. Raheem Morris is the new Atlanta Falcon coach. All right, kind of a surprise there. Not gonna lie, didn't think, you know. I mean, because we forget he was the Tampa Bay head coach once upon a time, right? Gets run out of Tampa Bay and has pretty much been bouncing around as a D coordinator ever since.
Right.
Okay. Like, shout out to Raheem Morris for you know what, staying the course. All right. I want to say he was a D coordinator at K-State for a hot minute once upon a time. Way back.
Really?
Yes. Raheem Morris. Tell you what, Raheem Morris has been around for a minute. The Canales kid, the guy from Tampa Bay, he gets named the head coach of the Carolina Panthers today. I don't know a lot about him. I'm not going to pretend that I do. All I know is that I was a little bit surprised by that hire, but it's Carolina, and I guess you look at it from this standpoint. And the only thing I can see is this: if he can get Baker Mayfield, who's not a big guy, all right, okay, and he has a career year throwing to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Ottoman and whoever else.
Yes.
I'm wondering how much that factored into them hiring this dude to work with Bryce Young, who we also know is a little, not the biggest dude.
It had a lot to do with it.
It's got to, right?
Yeah. It's got a lot to do with it, but he was more of a defensive-minded guy, I thought.
Who?
The coach.
Who, Canales?
Yeah.
No, he was the coordinator for.
Okay.
He was okay. So he's the guy. And look, we're gonna start. I mean, let's talk about. Here's what I don't understand, and you can help me out with this. All right, and maybe this goes back to the whole Eric Bieniemy thing. You had Byron Leftwich, who was killing it as a play caller for 3 straight seasons. All right, had some rough times there that last year with Brady. All right, but he still threw for 4,500 yards. I mean, we call a rough year with Brady and our boy Leftwich.
Yeah.
4,500 yards, 20 some odd touchdowns, like 10 picks. Like that was and by all standards, and look, you knew it and I knew it, and we talked about it last year, even though I thought Tom Brady had another year left in him. People were, this is it, he's done, da-da-da. Canales comes in, and then, by the way, not only they fired Leftwich.
Yes.
Okay, they fired him, right?
Yes.
So he gets the boot, they bring in Canales, again, takes a team that pretty much for all intents and purposes was the same, and Baker Mayfield was the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like this was some salvage project. This motherfucker was a 1st-round pick overall, for God's sakes. I mean, it's not like you're taking some Joe Schmuckatelli from the University of Kansas and we decided to make this guy a fucking all-pro quarterback. I mean, Baker Mayfield
was a top quarterback.
Was a number 1 pick. He's a former Heisman candidate.
He wasn't a Purdy.
He's not a Brock Purdy. That's exactly right. If Canales had taken Purdy and done this, I'd say, okay, I'm all in. Like I see it. And again, I'm not taking anything away from him. I mean, I guess I am a little bit, but it's like, dude, you salvaged the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating that. And I guess it's one of those
Apparently they are.
No, they absolutely are. Now, Brian Callahan, the new Tennessee coach, okay, where I'm kind of intrigued by him is like, okay, look, Joe Burrow, hey, way to go with Joe Burrow. I'm sure that took a lot of coaching.
Okay.
But Jake Browning didn't. I mean, had some moments.
Yeah,
this year,
did.
right? I mean, that was so. I get that. And oh, by the way, do you know where Jake Browning went to college?
Do not.
Most people probably don't.
Where did he go to college?
Washington.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, but it's like, well, was he a 4th, 5th round draft pick or something crazy like that?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So like, again, and look, I get it. Carolina's in one of those situations where even though you've got the richest owner in sports in Dave Tepper, who's a multi-billionaire, the dude's a maniac. I mean, he's a filthy rich maniac. I mean, the dude's throwing drinks on fans, for God's sakes. Like, and then they charge, they fine him 300 G's for it, which
300,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my man.
Yes. Hey, here's $100. Go get that dry clean.
Seriously, that's David Tepper right there, right? That's David Tepper. There's fuck you money, and then there's I don't even what's the next step off of fuck you money?
Mm-hmm. Fuck you money is there's fuck you money and then there's fake fuck you money.
Yeah, it's
like the man said. There's rich and then there's wealthy.
Yeah,
rich is something you can lose with a drug habit and a wild summer.
Yeah.
Wealthy is generational. It's family upon,
Ain't going nowhere. It's Vanderbilt type shit.
What a name, just say the name, you make money.
Like, seriously.
Gates money. That's what you think.
Thomas and Davis don't have that same ring. It's only a matter of time. Don't quit before the miracle, Henry. Don't quit before the miracle. So we got Brian Callahan. That was kind of and look, we understand, you got Will Levis. He's an offensive-minded guy. We get it. Okay. Yeah. Plus, he's got to know those first 2 years are going to be rough. Right. There's not that team's devoid of talent. Antonio Pierce, not a huge surprise there. We expected that. I mean, I think it would have been a bigger surprise if he didn't get the head coaching job, right? And then they did bring in the GM from the former Chargers, Tom Telesco, whatever his name is. Be interesting to see how that whole thing plays out. But at the very least, you got Antonio Pierce. Gerard Mayo, that happened, literally right after they fired Belichick.
Yeah, but it was, from what I understand, was in the contract, Belichick's contract.
It was in Mayo's contract that he was going to be the coach in waiting.
Okay, so it's also in Belichick's contract that when he goes, this guy was going to come up.
Okay, so, all right.
That's how they got it.
At least one guy's going to be coaching next year. And if you told me that Gerard Mayo would be coaching and Bill Belichick wouldn't, I would have said, get the heck out of here. Right. But that's kind of where we're at right now. Right. So Dave Canales gets the job today, which leaves. And of course, Jim Harbaugh got the that came out late last night, this morning. Jim Harbaugh is going to the Chargers. Go Chargers, go Chargers. Be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, look, I think the AFC West is loaded now. Let's call that what it is. The AFC West is a juggernaut of a division at this point. Andy Reid with the Chiefs, Sean Payton with the Broncos, Harbaugh with the Chargers, Antonio Pierce with the Raiders. Like, that is a stacked coaching division.
Oh, me too. Coaches don't play.
Well, they don't, but look.
Coaches are important.
Guess what? Okay.
I'm not saying they're not.
Don't the Chargers suddenly already a different team?
I don't know. I haven't seen OTA this season and no.
Okay. Knowing what you know about where the Chargers have been with Brandon Staley.
Right.
And having an idea of what you're going to get with a Jim Harbaugh. All I'm saying is, look, as a Chiefs fan, I don't like it. because the thing about the Chargers, and you know this, you can always count on the Chargers are the West Coast Jets. All right? They are the West Coast Jets because it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you think they're going to do. The Chargers are going to find a way to fuck things up, and they do it every single season.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm good with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every year. Oh, here come the Chargers. Chargers, they're loaded. They got this. They got that.
They're always the sheep pick.
They're always the sheep pick for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They've been slated to win the AFC West for the last half decade. Here comes this is the year that the Chiefs get unseated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Who's playing the AFC Championship on Sunday?
Exactly.
Not the Chargers. Okay? Sean Payton's going to get his quarterback, or may have to wait another year before he gets his quarterback, but you finally started to see the team is starting to look like him.
Okay.
And the way, because look, Sean Payton's an asshole, right? Like, I think we can pretty much all agree on that. And the fact that he pretty much said fuck you to Russell Wilson, like from the jump. And not only did he say fuck you like behind the scenes, but did it in public too.
Right.
Like,
you're not my quarterback. You're not my quarterback. You're not going to conform to the way I want you to do it. I'm going to put you out there. We're going to fight about it.
Yeah.
You're going to see eventually that this way is working. It's up to you to keep going with it. And now he's like.
But in the meantime, I'm going to give you my Crayola version of the playbook that is basically 5 plays deep, and you're allowed to call the first 3 plays. If you do the other 2, go fuck yourself.
That's right.
And that's literally what he did.
That's what he did.
I mean, you want to talk about it. And if you're Russell Wilson, it's like, bro, I've got as many Super Bowls as you do. Like, who you talking to?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I've been to more than you have. Doesn't matter, does it? Because one dude's making 15. Although, I guess you could argue Wilson is making more money than him. But, they gave one guy complete autonomy and said, here, do it as you wish.
Yeah.
And he said, oh,
this is what I
don't mind if I do.
Yeah. So, they showed crazy improvement over the last 8 weeks of the season.
They absolutely did. I mean, they kind of fizzled out there towards the end, but
you knew they would.
Because the team wasn't that good.
No.
The team was, look.
And that's the thing. When you get to those points, when you say the team wasn't that good, that's when you can say the coaching.
Okay.
The coaching and the scheme of things and how he presented to them and had them locked into it.
Yeah.
Made them play better. Because I said it all the time. I played against many guys that were more athletic than me.
Yeah.
That were stronger than me. That was faster than me. Can't always beat that technique.
I was going to say, technique's undefeated.
Discipline, technique, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, now to have that kind of ability
and technique, watch out. It's going to be a long day for somebody.
I'm holding my own, but look, don't expect to make no tackles today. I'm going to keep him off of y'all and these other 2.
Who was the most impressive guy when you talk about that you ever saw that had technique and was just a freak of an athlete?
Okay. Randall McDaniel, thank God he was on my team.
Okay, the tackle?
Guard. Hall of Fame guard. Just a monster.
Why didn't he move to tackle?
He was a guard.
Really?
He was a guard.
It wasn't moving to tackle.
Never played tackle. Was a guard.
That was it.
Big man, strong as all get out.
Yeah.
To be on the bench press working out with, not the bench press, the incline with 315.
Hey!
I'm sitting there looking at him like, I'm kicking my feet up on the bench. And he on the incline just looking around to run a 4.5.
So Randall McDaniel's repping 315 on the incline. Like it's nothing. What did he squat?
Don't know. But I watched that and I was just like.
Because you were more of a leg guy than you were an upper body guy, correct?
I tried everything. I had to try everything. I wasn't one or the other. Like, oh, this gonna work. Let's go. Let's try. Let's go. Let's see what I did it all. Because like I said, there was a lot of guys that were more athletic than me. So
I tried it all. I appreciate that. What was your fastest 40?
My fast word is 4.88.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah. It's probably the only time I've ever been clocked.
So you never so you ran your 4.88 at the combine, and then you never ran. I'm sure you ran 40s again, but it was never clocked because at that point you didn't give a fuck, right? You're in the NFL. Who cares?
I ran it 3 times, back to back to back. Like I ran the 4.88, then 488.
It's a different combine back then too.
Oh yeah, 488 again, and they're like, "Hey, number 72.
You want to run one more time?
We're gonna run again." And I've told this story.
Yeah,
I was a little hungover.
I was gonna say you had fun the night before.
Oh, Indianapolis definitely where that was.
Yeah.
I'm in Bayou.
Kid from the Fofo signing up for Indianapolis for the first time.
Indianapolis, and the mall is connected to the stadium, and let me go look around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had some couple drinks.
Next thing you know,
then it's
I
time to
gotta
go
run 40 in the morning. Shit.
40. Had to do them bench presses.
How many times did you do it anyway?
29.
You did 225 29 times?
28. One didn't count.
Get out of here. No shit.
Yep. 29 times.
That's impressive. Okay.
And then the third time I was pissed because I wanted to go find a corner and yak or something. And I was like, man, ain't nobody else had to run 3 times. What the hell? And then my teammate, Carl Wilson, was like, come on, hey. Then it comes tough. He was like, come on, tough. I'm running with you. I'm going to be on the side. You start and running.
Right.
Carl was faster than me. He'd always been in college. So I was like, all right, whatever. Take it off. I run it. Tired. I was like, I run it. Like 4.9. I was like, okay. I run before. The guy said 4.88. I said, what's the first one? 4.88. Why the hell I had to run 3 times? I talked to the little dude, and he was like, and stuff I didn't even know at the time. He goes, oh, your 10 and 20 time was really fast. They was timing that. I didn't know. I had no idea. You know what I'm saying?
So they just 10-20. You're
like,
a speed demon at 10-20 yards.
He had a burst.
Wow. Are we thinking position change for Henry Thomas from Louisiana State? Because my man's sick of that 10-20 yards. All right. So to finalize the coaching, I don't think it's crazy to think, Henry Thomas, that our boy Bill Belichick will be jobless. Well, let's put it this way: will be jobless from an NFL perspective. He will not be an NFL head coach in 2024. I think it's looking coach. Okay. I think it's looking very, very likely that he's not going to coach next year.
I never saw the urgency or the real desire to go somewhere else after that. After the announcement was made.
Well, I think we figured he was going to do that simply because of the fact that he's 15 or 16 wins away, whatever it is, from Don Shula.
That's what everybody said, but really?
Do you think he wants the record?
I don't think it's a big deal to him.
You don't think so?
Because Don Shula has the record.
Yeah.
How many Super Bowls did Don have?
One.
Look at balance. How many Bill had?
6. And that's just as a head coach.
And how many times Bill been there? Giants.
I mean, he won 2 with the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 8 Super Bowls altogether. Actually, I think he might have 9. I think I heard somebody say he's got 9. But we know for a fact he's got at least 8.
Yeah.
Right? Because he won 6 with the Patriots, and he won 2 as a D coordinator with the Giants, with Parcells.
And he won with the Patriots
10 times. Because No, I think they went 9 times. They went 9 times. That's right, because he's 6-3. Because Brady's been to 10 and it's 7-3. So there you go.
And the Giants beat him both times. But anyways,
and they did. And Philly did beat him once.
Philly.
Yeah, remember they beat him on the. Beat him on the Philly special.
I was thinking of Terrell Philly.
No. They won that game. That
was the most impressive I've been with the wide receiver in my life.
Terrell Owens. He played his ass off.
Unbelievable.
He was out of control that game.
Coming off a broke leg.
I mean, he carried, and I'll tell you what.
He carried that team.
Oh, he absolutely did.
Anyways, we digress.
He absolutely did. And if Donovan McNabb's not over there throwing up, and when your quarterback's throwing up on the last drive, you're done.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. Look, I think Donovan McNabb's great on the radio.
Yeah.
But again, if I see my quarterback throwing up on the game-winning drive, we ain't winning. It ain't a game-winning drive anymore. It's we about to fucking turn this thing over, and that's gonna be a wrap.
We're gonna have to call some running plays.
I was gonna say, who's is there a trick play that we got in the back of the playbook that we can, who was a quarterback in high school? I know one of you motherfuckers was. So Bill, I don't think he's gonna coach in 2024 unless Andy retires. I'm gonna tell you right now. If I'm the Chiefs and Andy Reid, you've heard it and I've heard it, and again, we don't know how much stock to put in it.
Right.
It does sound on the surface, Henry Thomas, insane. The idea that 65-year-old Andy Reid, and you and I both know 65 ain't that old, especially in football years. At 65 years old, well, coaching years, okay. Coaching, not playing. But if you're 65 and you've got Pat Mahomes, who's in the prime of his career right now, and I think we can feel pretty confident saying that he's got about another 5 to 7 years of this. Okay, a decade at least. I mean, look, Brady played tip top till he was 45, right? Pat Mahomes is 28.
Okay.
Pat Mahomes is 28 years old. That's all I'm saying. Now, that being said, if for some bizarre reason, it doesn't look, it seems crazy to me that Andy Reid would retire. The only thing I can think of is that he's not in as good a health as we think. Because he doesn't look the same as he ain't the same as Pete Carroll. And you could probably make a case that he's not in the same kind of shape as Belichick. He does, right? Yeah, Pete Carroll looks great. And then I think between his age, his health, and then the only other thing I'm going to say that I could maybe see being a factor is his kids. One's dead, one's in prison. I don't know. How does that factor into things? I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Got 2 kids?
No, I think he's got a couple more because I know he had some grandkids show up at the other game. But
one's dead, one's in prison.
One's in prison. Because the one, it happened before the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl. And again, look, he couldn't block, so it's not like that was the reason why we lost that game. But that was bad news going into that game. When you're and remember, we joked around back then because remember he was the outside linebackers coach for a team that had no outside linebackers.
Exactly.
Right? And then here he is drinking at the facility, and then you're gonna plow into a fucking car on the side of an on-ramp, for God's sakes. Like at 8:00 at night? Bro, you know fucked up you gotta be to plow into somebody on an on-ramp?
Plowing into somebody anywhere.
Anywhere, but on an on-ramp? Man. So yeah, I think he's going to prison for like 8 or 9 years. He'll do half of that. In any event, look, that's 5 more years in prison I want to do. So in any event, look, I'll tell you this, Henry Thomas. I don't know what that means in the grand scheme of things, but it just kind of puts you on high alert because look, if you make it all the way to the Super Bowl, which I think they will, what coaches are available at that point? Looks like Belichick might be.
Belichick may be.
I'm going to tell you right now, Belichick would go to the Chiefs. You'd be silly not to hire Bill Belichick.
They're ready to win. Can they do that? Can they bring him in?
Oh, absolutely. Because look, you
don't think he would change the whole?
No.
Here's my take.
Well, I mean, I think he would make a few tweaks.
No. Here's my take, and we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick coaching tree.
Oh.
Andy Reid's coaching tree.
Yeah.
Everybody who let this tree feel like a rotten fruit.
Oh, his tree's dead. His tree's been cut down.
So that tells me it's night and day different of what's going to go on, what goes on in Kansas City now, and what would go on if Belichick takes over. And it changes with that kind of, kind of change. I never see it go good.
Look, I defer to you 9 times out of 10. This is that 10th time I won't. So, and you know what though? It makes you wonder. To your point, what you just said, is that why the Falcons thing fell through? Because he went in there and said, "Look, the Falcons." Outside of quarterback, have a pretty solid roster from like head to toe, right? I mean, literally, defense is pretty solid, offense is pretty solid. Skill positions, you're loaded at tight end, running back, and wide receiver. Like literally, you've got guys that are 3-4 years or less in the league. You just don't have a quarterback.
Okay.
Right. So it was one of those deals where it felt like, okay, well, if you go trade for one, maybe Justin Fields, maybe Kirk Cousins, whatever, you got I think they got the 8th or 9th pick. Okay, you're gonna make a move, right?
Okay.
But listening to radio today after they, had 2 interviews and then interviewed like 15 people for the job, right? And then Raheem Morris comes in kind of out of nowhere. I mean, we knew Raheem was going to get some interviews, right? He's a black defensive coordinator, has been in the NFL. I mean, look, and right, wrong, or indifferent, he's going to get some Rooney Rule interviews just cause, right? Whether it's right or wrong. But after what he did with that Rams defense this past season, okay, after the way that this guy's been a solid D coordinator, has head coaching experience, did it 10 years ago. So you're thinking, all right, we're going to get a better version of Raheem Morris now. Oh, no, by the way, he knows the NFC South considering he was a Tampa Bay coach way back when, right? So, look, from an Atlanta standpoint, I get it. But you wonder, did Bill come in and say, look, there's still, when I said the whole thing about, and I said this a couple weeks ago, that when he said during his press conference when he was leaving New England or right before he left, that, he was open to ceding control or working with a personnel man. I said, I think that has more, not for the New England team, but I think that's more for everybody listening, right? To say, oh, okay, so Bill will be open to it.
Yeah.
I think he got to Atlanta and then, as you alluded to, he's a creature of habit and said, I still do like control.
Yeah.
I still do like to do certain things because last I checked, I'm the baddest motherfucking head coach on the planet.
I'm the one. I'm the guy. So,
and I think I wonder if Arthur Blank said, I need somebody a little more collaborative.
Yeah.
I need somebody collaborative and not a dictator. And again, I'm spitballing here. I'm wondering, and because I think, look, there's got to be something to it. Because how are you Bill Belichick and you're going to go over in this coaching cycle?
It's Bill Belichick because.
But you're saying he doesn't want to coach, or it's not as important to him to jump right back into a situation.
I don't think, unless he finds the right situation, I don't think he really wants to, because when he came to New England, we had pieces.
Yeah.
3 years before they went to the Super Bowl.
I was going to say, you guys weren't far removed from a Super Bowl berth.
Had good teams.
Yeah.
Had players.
Still had boy Bledsoe slinging it.
Still had Bledsoe. But he came in like that first year, we didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was my last year. And we didn't make the playoffs. And the wheels started turning. I mean, he started doing things like, okay, let's pay Bledsoe. We're going to take that out, get it off his mind. I'm going to play him. We're going to do this. We're going to change the defense.
Yeah.
I'm going to get rid of this high-paid people here. This guys that been here like Bruce Armstrong, 14 years there. Solid left defense, offensive tackle,
But
gone. Him. Hey, this guy is good on the defense nose tackle, but I ain't paying the nose tackle that much money. We're gonna cut his salary back and get rid of it.
Yeah.
And went through the whole changing of, and then that.
So he did all that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I told you, when I got released from the New England.
What GM calling you?
No, it was Bill. He called me on the golf course. Hey, look, we're gonna release you. We're gonna renegotiate your contract. I'm like, what is it? Release me? I got a bonus coming, a roster bonus. You ain't gonna get that. That's I got to do this before that 2:00, and it was 1 o'clock. I'm talking to him. You know what I'm saying?
So this fool called you an hour before you were due to get a bonus?
Yes, sir. That's why I was playing so good. I knew I had money coming in the house. I was cracking that thing, and then it went all the shit.
I was gonna say, how'd you play after that phone call?
Well, I maintained my composure because I'm playing with some boys, and they're like, "Oh, they could release you," and blah blah. And then 3 holes into it after that, hey, Patriots just made Bledsoe the highest paid in history.
It all made sense. He just took my money.
And so,
and then this fool gets booted a year later.
And he calls me. Well, that same year he gets booted. Well, that same year.
Yeah.
Same year. Well,
right.
He calls me that later on that day. I'm back at home, and he says, "This is what we're going to do. We want you to come in and play for that bonus that you're going to get." I said, "No. You can keep the bonus, Just let me play for what my contract said I was going to play for.
Yeah.
Let me play for that money, and we're good.
Yeah.
I'll give you the bonus. But he goes, look, and I never forget his words. Henry, we are a Super Bowl team right now. We are a Super Bowl championship team with you. That's what Bill said to him.
Well, that's a hell of a sales pitch, right?
Bullshit. And here's was my answer. Hey, Bill, you need to talk to my agent. I appreciate the call. You know,
He was
I
trying
want
to
to
get
be
you
there.
to agree to it.
I was like, talk with my agent. No, call my agent. I understand. Yes, sir. No. You know, I love it there, but I got somebody I hired for this. So can you talk to him and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And that was effectively the end of your NFL career at that point.
Yeah. Well, my agent called because there were other teams like wanted me to come right then, and I was like, you know what? 14 years, done everything I could do, but won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Pretty healthy. I don't think I'm calling you quit. Body's a little weary, knees are,
Yeah.
you know. And I remember Cincinnati called. It was like, hey, come on in here. And I was looking at Cincinnati roster. I was like, I don't recognize none of that.
And when you've been in the league 14 years and can't recognize anybody on the roster,
I was like,
and you've been in the AFC for 4 years already. It wasn't like you've just been in the NFC at that point.
Like, they're going to try to kill me up there.
Who was the quarterback in 2000?
I couldn't tell you.
Shit. 713.
Yeah.
You guys think you know. All right. Real quick, we're an hour into this thing. Let's make our we've been kind of all over the place, but look, it's been a lot of Chiefs talk, a lot of football talk. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. We'll say the Chiefs and the Ravens game. I mean, you pretty much already know who I'm pulling for in that game. But okay, real quick. Let's 5 more minutes and we'll call this thing and we'll wrap this thing up. Detroit. San Francisco, you got to believe San Francisco is going to come out all guns blazing, right? Because after nearly getting beat up or nearly getting upset last week, the one thing that concerns me, Henry Thomas. Now, look, Debo is more than likely going to be a game time decision. He doesn't have a broken shoulder, but he was a limited participant in practice today. I think that spread is somewhere like 6.5, 7, somewhere in there, or it might even be more than that. I think it might be 8 or 9. But we're going to wait and see. You know, again, it's going to fluctuate a little bit moving up to game time, whether or not our boy Debo plays or not. What worries me a little bit, though, I'm not worried about the Detroit offense. The Detroit offense, this defense isn't for having Bosa on one side and Chase Young. I don't know what happened to him, but you would have thought playing on the opposite of Joey Bosa would have made a difference. But I'm just sorry, it hasn't made a difference. And look, I saw him get blocked by a wide receiver, where like legit straight up stoned it.
I saw that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Because they replayed it. Yes.
Exactly. And I thought, dude, this dude just got okay. Well, of course, I guess. Well, no. What would film be doing to him since they did get to play another week?
Well, yeah, they
kind of the same.
Oh, they don't. There's no.
He's got to get the business right. Dude, you got stoned by a receiver, bro.
In the era where they don't crack back.
Seriously,
you know when you don't,
and it wasn't like he ran over him or anything. Like he straight was like, you know. I'm not worried about the Detroit offense. I'm really not. I think they're going to be able to move this. This is a okay San Francisco defense. This is not your Robert Saleh, DeMeco Ryans. They're not taking anything away from Steve Wilkes. I just don't think they've got the same personnel that they've had in years past. That being said, what concerns you the most as you look at this Detroit Lions team heading into Sunday?
It's like you said, the defense is a little. It's not that it. Okay. The passion and the effort.
You ain't worried about that. You know they're going to get that.
But to have that kind of passion and effort and discipline, it's crazy. They play with so much passion and so much effort because of the lack of discipline in some of the way they fit.
Right.
You miss it, but you ain't gonna score. We're gonna run you down.
Somebody's gonna cut you exactly.
But if you're in there, that same effort shuts everybody down.
Exactly.
And the thing about it is, Debo's shoulders gonna get broke playing against Detroit because just the way they play.
Yeah.
And if he is gonna be as much of the offense that he has been in the past year, they're going to hit it.
Yeah.
They don't mind hitting. They love hitting.
Yeah.
They're still a throwback to the black and blue division.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring it. Having said that, I'm still picking Detroit over San Francisco, even though I'm the whole conspiracy color scheme guy.
No, I'm with you on that. Well, I told you red and blue make purple. So
Yeah,
remember that. Remember that. Look, I think for as much as we talk about how good Baltimore, Kansas City is going to be, I think Detroit, San Francisco is going to be equally as good. I know Detroit's the Johnny-come-lately, and we're all excited because this is a team that has as you know,
2 years grown.
They've come a long way. I mean, for what Dan Campbell's been able to do with this football team and the way he's turned around this entire culture, this entire program, says a lot. So I'm a firm believer that we're going to get, for as kind of lopsided as some of the games, I mean, let's call it what it was. It was a very uneventful divisional card weekend.
Okay.
Right? I mean, let's call it, the Ravens and Texans was boring after the second half. Detroit and like we said, Detroit and
stick around.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like we knew
discipline that wasn't there.
Exactly.
Tampa stayed around.
It's Tampa, right?
Like they should have.
These are gonna be two good games. Okay.
These
are gonna be two really good games. I'm pulling for Detroit. I want to see a Detroit. I know everybody talks about San Francisco, but I want to see a Detroit, Kansas City Super Bowl. How insane would it be if you're the NFL where you started off with Kansas City, Detroit, and you end the season with Kansas City, Detroit? I think that would be. And look, from an NFL perspective, if you get Detroit in, you're going to have the entire unit, everybody's watching.
Oh, everybody's going to be
right. Everybody's watching. From a Chiefs standpoint, and this is not an original thought, I got to give a shout out to my boy Chris Hodge from TakingVegas.com, and he made a great point. Does the NFL want to see the Harbaugh family in a box, or do they want to see Taylor Swift in a box? And look,
just saying.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I agree with it.
Detroit's getting 7 points,
but I don't mind. Give me that all day.
Huh?
Give me that. Give me Detroit and the points all day. All right.
Points.
Give me Detroit and the points all day. Now I could see that, like I said, and look, here's and think about what you just said, Henry, when it comes to Debo. Look, even if he does play Sunday, what's he gonna be at?
Right.
What percent? Look, homeboy was knocked out in the first 5 minutes of the game on Sunday. And like you said, Detroit's going in. Look, if they know, you tell me, if you know a dude's banged up.
Oh, we're banging him up. We're banging him up.
We're going to bang him up a little bit more.
After the game, we're like, man, we banged him up, but he's a tough something bitch. Or you weren't ready.
Exactly. Right. And so that's what we're going to find out on Sunday, right? We're going to find out if Debo's okay, or we're going to be like, okay, this dude was a shell of himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Exactly and so if you're Brandon Ayuk, if you're Christian, and again, we're sitting here talking about Brandon Ayuk, who's a top 10, top 15 receiver in the national, probably top 15 receiver in the National Football League. Kittle, top 5 tight end. Christian McCaffrey, top two, number 1 running back in the NFL.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So, so you're missing Debo. And that's why when these fools come out and say, well, he was missing Debo, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about how you were missing Debo and suddenly this offense went into free fall mode. Yeah. You still got the best running back, you got one of the best tight ends, and you got a top 20 wide receiver. Give me, don't. And oh, by the way, you have maybe the best left tackle of the last 10 years.
Yeah. And then you got, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Detroit's working hard.
Yeah.
They, like I said, they play with a lot of passion.
Turnovers?
They put a lot of pressure on Baker Mayfield. A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Purdy's about to see that. And he's about to have another flashback of last year's championship game when he got beat to all be damned.
Yeah, he did. He got the shit beat out of him. So you're thinking Aaron Glenn's defense is going to send bodies out.
I think
because they don't have that guy outside of Aiden Hutchinson that can rush.
And here's the deal with Aaron. He knows that when it comes down to that team, his group has to pick it up.
Has to.
And he already knows that. And he's got the kind of humble and understanding spirit to go, look, we're effing this up. We're fucking this up. We got to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
It's on me. I said I fucked it up. You got to do this. You got to do that. And when coaches take that kind of accountability for fuck up.
Oh, you got to feel good about that as a player. You're ready to run to a wall through somebody. Well, not just that, but like you said, and again, I'm not unique in this. Like that's the refrain all week is that okay? We know what Detroit can do offensively. Right. We know they have one of the best offensive lines in football. We know Jared Goff's a better quarterback than he's been given credit for. Right? I mean, Jared Goff is on the cusp of taking two teams to a fucking Super Bowl. Okay, like let's put some little respect on our boy Jared Goff's name. His wife is a fucking smoke show. Number one, he's on the verge of taking a team to another NFL, or excuse me, a second team to a Super Bowl. By the way, he was kicked to the curb in the most unceremonious fashion. I mean, Sean McVay basically treated him like a bitch and said, "You know what? I don't think you're worth a shit. I'm getting rid of you because I got not only." I mean, it's literally the equivalent of taking your 20-year, your wife that you've been with and you guys have grown up together and saying, you know what, there's a hotter chick over there that's got bigger boobs and a fatter ass. I'm going to take her and let's see what we can do together. Now, in fairness, they did win a Super Bowl together. They did win a Super Bowl together. So, look, I'm pulling for Jared Goff on Sunday, and then that's when it stops after that. But depending on what happens on Sunday, too. But, look, I'm pulling for the Lions. I think the Lions do enough to win, and I'm pulling for Dan Campbell. The one thing that worries me a little bit is because he'll do some crazy shit.
Of course.
He'll do some crazy shit. And you just wonder if he has a situation, like let's pretend he has a situation similar to what happened with Dallas, right? And instead of, do you learn from that situation and you kick the extra point and tie the game up and take it to overtime, or do you say, no, fuck that, we're going to go back for the two? And look, I'm just saying it's something like that. No. I would not be surprised if it comes down to something like that for Detroit.
It's different.
It's totally different circumstances, right? Because if you fuck this up in the playoffs, that's you're done.
Especially in that scenario that you just put out.
Yeah.
You kick the point, you kick the extra
point. Take the points, right?
And then you tie the game up because even if they score, the new rules say I get a chance to score too.
That's it.
So it's a whole different scenario, but
so it's more of when you're doing it in the regular season, look, they'd already punched their ticket to the playoffs. It was more of like, I want you guys to know that I believe in you. Because he'd already told them before, hey, we go down, we score, we're going for two, and we're putting this thing to bed.
That's it.
Right? So he'd already told them. So I guess to your point, Henry, these guys already know this guy's got their back.
Yeah.
The team already knows Dan Campbell is all in. And then look, all you got to do is watch his post-game.
Post-game, pre-game.
I mean, that dude, you got he's something else. And of course, but look, let's not take anything away from the other side. You got Shanahan, who has been the eternal bridesmaid, and let the NFL tell that he's the best head coach that ever walked, and even though he's got no Super Bowls, so we'll see what the offensive genius has up his sleeve.
Listen, some girls are just supposed to be bridesmaids.
I'm telling you.
I don't care how smoking hot they are.
Don't matter.
There's a couple of them that just
they are. There's a reason for it.
Yeah. Be happy we let you come to the engagement.
That's it. Just be happy to be here, right? So you and I are both in agreement on that. We both like the Lions to win, and so spread-wise, it doesn't matter. We both expect the Lions to win that football game and represent the NFC in the championship or in the Super Bowl. Last thing, Chiefs, Baltimore. Look, I am nervous as all get out. This is probably the most nervous I've been outside of that. I wasn't really that nervous for the Buffalo game last week because I felt comfortable that we were going to take care of business. I'll say this about Baltimore, and this is where I kind of feel like it's going to be I think this game is going to be very reminiscent of the Super Bowl last year. Because if you remember last year, and you and I talked about this, remember last year how everybody was raving about that Philadelphia defense and talking about how, how great they were at getting after the quarterback. How many times did they touch Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl last year?
How many times?
0 sacks. Okay, no Joe Tooney. Okay, no Joe Tooney, which that's a big deal. Your left guard, but you've got Allegretti, who is a 5 or 6 year backup. Okay, he can slide in that left guard spot. You are a little nervous about that left side because you got Donovan Smith, who's been, I'm not gonna say been a revolving door. He was better this past Sunday, but again, it's a little question mark there. Hasn't been great. Okay, and that inside of your line, the interior, right? Tooney, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith. Okay, how many pressures they allowed to the quarterback this past weekend? 0. Okay, now you're missing Joe Tooney on Sunday, right? You got Allegretti in there, but again, you feel comfortable. This is the only time. This is the first game Tooney's missed as a Chief. Okay, And he's been there since he signed with the Chiefs right after the Tampa Bay Super Bowl debacle. Right? Hasn't missed a fucking game since. Okay, so that's a big loss. You know that losing your left guard like that, especially a guy that's been, has played left tackle at times to step out and have, so to have a guy that's an Iron Man at that role hurts a little bit, but it's not the end all be all. It's not the end of the world. And again, you've got a left guard in Allegretti who's played there before, and for one game can do enough for what you need to do. Okay, I'm not saying he's Joe Tooney, but he's still good enough. You're going to notice it some, I'm sure.
Well, they're going to test him early.
Oh, they absolutely right. Baltimore's coming at him.
Oh, yeah.
So Baltimore's loading up that side, aren't they?
Oh, just that.
So what do you think Reed and Nagy and Mahomes are thinking?
We're sliding the protection to him.
Okay.
Just to make sure he can hold his own.
Okay.
We're sliding protection to him, and he's going to get that back stepping up in the middle. The guys on the outside is going to have to do their job because the back's not going to immediately go out to do that chipping on their door at the end.
Right.
Because you got to watch the guy, and if you slide the line to where he's covered up, which I think is going to always be covered up.
Yeah. You
slide it, so now you get the guard himself, the center sliding to go and help.
Okay.
And then the back stepping up.
Okay.
So, and then you'll see right away if that's fine and the funk start coming on the outside. Now you got to hold your own.
Yeah.
Slide your way, but the back's got to go and chip out on the outside guys.
And that's it. Look, that's an important aspect too, Henry, because let's call it what it is. Pat Mahomes makes a living on second and third and longs.
Yeah.
But once that pocket breaks down, because the inside's been really good at holding up for him, right? And so he lets that outside go, and then boom, he can do his thing. That's going to cause that could cause a lot of problems for the Chiefs if suddenly his ability to scramble, his ability to escape,
it's not there,
is negated, right? So, look, I'm not taking anything away from this Baltimore team. Okay, this team's as solid as all get out. What I'm banking on is a defense that's going to have to play better than they did last week. All right, I'm looking for a better 95. Okay, he's got to come out and play out of that. 95 has no choice but to be better this week than he was last week. Has no choice, right? You're going to have to cause Lamar at least into one interception or a fumble. You need at least one turnover, maybe two, but I'm not going to get greedy. I'm going to say one, and then you got to play clean football. And that was the difference in last week. That was the one thing I said last week. I told this guy at the gym. He comes up to me. Of course, I was wearing my Chiefs gear. Comes up to me. He's like, "Oh man, you guys have a tough game." I said, "Look, we play clean football. We take care of business." And that's exactly what the Chiefs did on Sunday. They played clean football. I think there's only 5 or 6 penalties called the entire game.
Well,
and you had no turnovers.
I like the Chiefs.
Look, it's going to be close. And no, by the way, you got 2 of the best kickers in the NFL.
Oh yeah, no.
This is as good. Look, Chiefs defensive. And we talked about this before. All right, Chiefs O-line, Baltimore O-line, and let's call it what it is. Is the Texans? Do we really think the Baltimore receivers are that much better than the Chiefs? I don't think so. I really don't.
Here's my take.
Yeah.
Like Kansas City.
Yeah. But here comes the but.
Here comes the but.
What's the but?
The defense has not been there all freaking year. They're just now they want to turn it on. Oh, we're turning it on now.
Whoa, did you just say their defense hasn't been there all year?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm telling you, their defense has not been there all year. They have not been in a situation where they just shut down every game. And it's not, I shouldn't just say their defense, because their whole team, we've talked about this in the past, they've been the whole year, we'll do just enough to win.
Yeah.
And
but wouldn't you agree, though, that they look different in the playoffs? Like, they understand.
Everybody looks different in the playoffs because it's the playoffs. There's another gear for playoffs. There's another, it's like college speed, pro speed.
Yeah. And then playoff speed.
Playoff speed.
Right.
It's just, and as a young guy going into the playoff, I got to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Because when I got to the NFL, I became a starter.
Yeah.
Speedy, what? No difference.
Yeah.
Seen this at LSU. Good. I've been Tiger. Death Valley, baby.
Playoff, though.
Yeah. Then we get to the playoffs, and I'm looking at Keith. His hip been sore for the past 3 weeks. He's flying past me like I was making and he done shot him like, oh, he's, stepping it up. The ice thing and the tub and the bike and the getting this ready, and we got that time.
So everybody's it's a different mind. Like everybody's locked in to a different mindset.
It goes to another.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you have to, right? I mean, you're not getting to that point if you haven't.
Because you got to go home.
That's it.
If you don't do it,
there's no next week.
That's it.
There's no next week.
And it makes the intensity and the speed and everything.
Desperation will make you do crazy shit now.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but I don't know if
Chiefs don't have enough desperation, is what you're telling me.
I don't know if they have that. I don't like them flipping that switch. I like for it to be on all the time.
But don't you think that switch stayed? Don't you think beating Buffalo last week after everybody and their mama was saying, "Oh, Chiefs haven't won on the road. Chiefs haven't done this." I mean, don't you think going into Buffalo and shutting that crowd up?
It's a step in the right direction.
I'm just saying this. I get it. It's Baltimore and everybody's, but
is that film session gonna be enough for 9-5? Because I'm expecting a lot of things out of you. I expected so much out of you.
That's valid. I'm with you on that, and that does bother me a little bit. I mean, my biggest concern is somebody stepping up after Kelsey and Rice,
right?
And 95.
That's it.
Because if 95, to your point, Henry, if 95 balls, the rest of that defense falls in line.
Oh, they're
that's
like
it.
Him. They're like,
that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Because you can't tell me they don't. If we see it, they see it.
Oh, they should have. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I mean, that's the reality. If you and I are seeing this dude just sitting there patty caking some fools,
yeah.
What is Nick Bolton who's chasing down guys? What's Justin Reed who, for every missed assignment he gets, he will thump somebody. I mean, I'll say this about Justin Reed, okay? Look, no one's going to get him confused for being Ronnie Lott, all right?
Okay.
But I'll say this. To your point about the effort and the flying around, that's that Chiefs secondary.
Okay.
That's what that Chiefs secondary does. Everything you described about the Detroit Lions and how they go about their business, their defense, that's exactly the way the Chiefs secondary is, right? There's nobody that you look at. I mean, yes, needs a good guy, and McDuffie's solid too. But that, like the Reeds, hell, we had a rookie, Connor, who came in and helped forced a fumble. Would have shut the game down if he'd have fallen on that fumble in the fourth quarter, right? So tell you all that. Gonna have to be a turnover, and you're gonna have to keep Pat clean.
Yeah.
You do that, they take care of business.
Take care of business.
They take care of business. So I got Chiefs, Lions. You have
Lions, Baltimore.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
We'll give it up. Real quick, shout out to everybody that listened. Big shout out to y'all folks.
Big Chiefs station here. No disrespect.
It's okay. No, absolutely. I know he does.
But,
look, he's wearing red and black right now for crying out loud. Okay. I and you know what? You gave a great reason for why. I mean, it's going to go down to the wire. So I ain't mad at you for that. Shout out to our boy Henry, obviously shout out to our boy Henry Thomas, but shout out to our boy Michael Babbo. He's with his younger brother today. Crashed his motorcycle. God, watch out, people. Yeah. You were a motorcycle rider for a long time, man. That shit ain't for the faint of heart.
It's like everybody who asked me about riding or wanting to ride, there's only two kind of motorcycle riders.
Yeah.
Those that have crashed and those that will crash. Plain and simple.
Good point. Did you ever crash?
Yes, twice.
Yeah. Look at you.
Let
it tell about it. Let it tell about it. Okay. We're excited about the games this weekend. You should be too. We'll tune in next week, and of course, obviously, we'll do a follow-up. We'll do a show next week, kind of recap everything that went down this weekend, and then of course we'll get you ready. We'll do kind of a slow, like early preliminary look at the Super Bowl because we got 2 weeks, so we'll do a real slow preliminary look. And of course, if the Chiefs aren't in it, then I don't know, how enthusiastic I'll be. I may just sit in the corner and just say "fuck off, everybody." We'll see though. We'll see. Yeah. I don't expect that to happen because we'll be talking about why my Chiefs are going to win another Super Bowl. But so next week we'll get you a little, and then of course we'll get back into the following week when we get knee deep into the Super Bowl, Henry Thomas. So anyway, look, shout out to I got to give a big shout out to our boy Charlie Bajani of High Performance Connection, longtime friend of the show. His birthday today.
Happy birthday!
I think he's 45. Wink, wink. And then I got to give a shout out to my daughter, Miriam, who turned 21 yesterday. Live to tell the tale. Okay. Live to tell the tale.
Oh, man.
And then last but certainly not least, and Henry Thomas, you can appreciate this, shout out to my son's mother, whose birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, no kidding.
So we're not going to say how old she is, okay? Because
I'll tell.
Yeah, we're not going to say that. We're not going to say that.
No.
We're not going to say that. His words, not mine. His words, not mine. Okay. But shout out to our girl Jenny, who is a Jenny. Let me just say this about Jenny real quick. Jenny is if you guys think I'm a Chiefs fanatic, okay, Jenny is a Chiefs fanatic. Okay. She's met Patrick Mahomes. I'll just put it like this. She goes to training camp every year. She's got a picture of the Virgin Mary, but with Patrick Mahomes' face. Okay. And it says football Jesus over it.
Oh my goodness.
He signed it. Brett Veach signed it. Andy Reid signed it.
Wow. Yeah, she's a fanatic.
Everybody has stopped. Like when they see it, people stop. Like that's why Brett Veach and Andy Reid stopped, because they literally were like, "Did this bitch really put a fucking? This really put fucking? Did she put Pat Mahomes on the Virgin Mary? Is that what we just saw?" And called him football Jesus. So yes, she's got the whole slew of people.
Yeah.
And I think Cole has got his signature on there too.
Right.
So I think that devalued it already. But in any event, so anyway, shout out to everybody. Happy birthday to everybody. January's a big month. January's a big month. You had a birthday. Yeah. I got both baby mamas out of the way in January. And my daughter. So you know what?
There you go.
We're good.
We're good.
We're cruising through February, okay, and then March. It jumps back off again, folks. It jumps back off again. So again, shout out to everybody, Chief Studios, shout out to my boy Tab and everybody else at the Freddie D, at Henry Thomas NFL. Follow us, and you will be glad that you did. Enjoy the games on Sunday. I know I will. Hopefully you will as well. I know my man Henry Thomas will. For the one, the only Henry Thomas, I'm still that dude, Freddie D, from H-Town, Kansas City, East Coast to West Coast, and all points in between. Good night. God bless.
Peace.